Alright, hello everybody. This is Lost Woods Draft League, Season 2, Week 1 for me, Jake, of the Boston Blackjacks. So, Week 1, I'm against Area 151, headed by Korok Corrosion, or Corrosion. And the team is actually one that I immediately uh, was scared of, for a number of reasons. Because my team is so setup heavy, in terms of, Volcarona setup, Blastoise setup, Como setup, even Chestnut setup. Like, a lot of things on this team can set up and want to set up. Um, First and foremost, Grimmsnarl with screens is going to throw off a lot of my numbers. So I'm strongly expecting Grimmsnarl to come. Um, Entei is a mon that my resistance to it normally is Rhydon, right? Gengar can take the extreme speeds. Clefable can't redirect it. Like, this is going to be tricky to play around Entei. So these are two Pokemon I'm already off the bat pretty nervous about. And then the rest of the team, I expect these four. Um, Garchomp and Gyarados, I expect Clear Amulet on one, Covert Cloak on the other. Iron Crown, maybe Booster Energy, and then Spectrier, possibly a support set with something like Snarl, Will-O-Wisp, Taunt, and then possibly a Life Orb Nasty Plot attacker. Because even though I do have Clefable with Unaware, like, once that's down, it's going to be tough to beat. Um, so I've teched a lot into this. I've gone over some iterations of the team, and I'm going to discuss those now. Sorry, I wasn't in full screen, and I wasn't zoomed in either. Whoa. Yeah, you can see some interactions. Like, there's some speed advantage, so Spectre can easily run Modest without an issue. Garchomp can outspeed everything except Gengar. It's tricky. Um, in terms of things that might be brought, Duskspun is really good into the combination of Volcarona and Kommo-o. If either of them want to set up, like Terra Steel Duskspun can just kind of handle them. Stantler, I really do not expect. I don't think this is a good Monon to me. Vikavolt, also not a great Monon to me, especially when these are my main setup Pokemon, and I have just other stuff. Serperior could come with a Terra Stellar variant, definitely, but again, not totally expecting it. If I do see it, not too concerned, but what do I know? And then Pachirisu always has the potential to come with Super Fang and Nuzzle and Follow Me. Like, it's just a generally good Pokemon. But yeah, let's get into my original draft of the team, um, which was Gengar with Sludge Bomb, Taunt, Icy Wind, Shadow Ball, Clefable, Como with Clangorous Soul Throat Spray. Volcarona was actually a support mom with Heat Wave, Rage Powder, Tailwind, and max speed, so I could and Terra Ghost because I wanted to redirect Entei's extreme speeds into it. Especially if it's choice band, like I can just lock it in and it'll never be able to hit me. Assault Vest Metagross with Heavy Slam, Bullet Punch, Psychic Fangs to break the Grimmsnarl screens, Stomping Tantrum to hit the Iron Crown, and then Incineroar also with Brick Break in case I needed to bring it to break screens there. Fake Out Parting Shot, pretty standard knockoff as well. Gengar, I thought was a cool bring, because of the two stabs it has covering the team relatively well, and then Icy Wind, being able to speed control Garchomp and do big damage there. The issue I had with this team was it didn't have a lot for that extreme speed Entei that I mentioned, and that was a big problem. So I kind of had to pivot directions. The other concern was, as I said, I really expect Covert Cloak or Clear Amulet on one of these guys. Um, and not having that, or them having that, Icy Wind's going to become moot. It's going to do damage, sure, especially to Garchomp, but it's not going to be able to lower those speeds. So the next variant I went to, um, as you can see, there's a Pokemon change of Rillaboom for Incineroar, but overall more of the same. This was an Iron Defense Body Press Como with Flamethrower and Terra Fire. Terra Fire because I don't want to get burned by Entei's Sacred Fires once I'm set up, and Flamethrower because I want to handle Iron Crown as fast as possible. Because that's a Pokemon that can easily outdamage me, in a situation where I'm +2, I need to be able to get those flamethrowers out and KO it. Um, Also, I mean, I'm Terrifier. I might as well just go for that flamethrower coverage. Worry is I can't hit Dachspun, but the big thing is Dachspun can't hit me if it's not Terra Ghost. Um, and then I kept the same Metagross. I changed the Volcarona to Heat Wave and Terra Water, Terra Blast with Quiver Dance because that could pretty much put a hole in everything on their team, barring Gyarados. Um, Gengar was an all-out attacker, this time taking Thunderbolt instead of Taunt, and I still had the same Icy Wind. You can see I might have modified the spreads a bit. Metagross was the same, Clefable the same, and because I had Assault Vest on Metagross, I figured I might as well go with Clear Amulet on Rillaboom to handle potential Intimidate from Gyarados, as well as anything else I might just not see coming. Um, I just figured those were fine items. As you can see me going through this, you can see the terrors and all that, so I won't harp on them. You can see 2.1 is a version where I changed some spreads, I changed some items, maybe some terror types here and there. I went with Lumberry Gyarados because that way it can just handle Entei better if I go for the Terra. Rillaboom, in some testing, Nasty Plot Spectre was giving me issues, so I was like, okay, I need to be able to tank a +2, whatever it was, Life Orb, Spectre hit. Um, and I also went with Drum Beating. Again, same concept as before, where I was like, I'm not sure, because if I hit Gyarados or Garchomp, it's not going to get the slowdown. But it very well could. I can still slow down Entei, I can still slow down Spectre and hit it a second time. There's still options there. So I think Drum Beating's just a consistent damage output. And as well, I don't have to worry about the damage from Woodhammer because I do need to keep up my damage output. I don't want to just Woodhammer and die. So this morning I woke up thinking about it, or last night I fell asleep thinking about it, which is crazy. I was like, how do I, like, with my setup Pokemon, with Clefable or Rillaboom lead, how can I properly address if there's a lead of Iron Crown and Spectre? Or Iron Crown Entei. Iron Crown Entei was the big one. I was like, this is terrifying as a lead into me. I don't have much for that. So I thought about it and I'm like, I think I need to drop Metagross. As much as I want the Psychic Fangs there to break potential screens, I think I can manage. I just need to do, like, I need to wall things out better, and I just need options, right? So I decided on bringing Incineroar, which is crazy that I just have an Incin, Rilla, Clef, Volk team with alternate setup in Komo and then more offense in Gengar. So this is ultimately the team I settled with and is in game currently and will be what I'm fighting against in a few minutes. So the final team to go over it is this Iron Defense Body Press Como with Flamethrower. Enough special defense such that I take something. Let's find out what it is. Como versus, let's see this Iron Crown maybe. Psychic. Timid. Like, I take that. Was that what I was going for? No. I don't remember. Maybe I just hit a jump point and called it there. That doesn't seem like me. But I don't remember the calcs. I'm sorry. I've been team building for like a week plus. 114 speed is to outspeed Adamant Max Grimmsnarl, as well as if I get Entei down to -1 with Drum Beating, then I can outspeed it with Como. Rillaboom is next. It's a very fast one, and this is so I can hit things with, yeah, so if I Drum Beating Spectrier, I can Drum Beating it again, and I think that's outspeeding everything on the team at -1, so I'm good there. And then enough defenses for this Rillaboom into this Spectrier. Let's just pick this one because it seems like it would be the right one. Yep. So it is +2 Life Orb Shadow Ball from Modest Spectrier will not KO this Rillaboom. I can fire back with a drum beating, followed up with another drum beating, call it a day. Again, this is extremely bulky Spectre, which I don't fully expect. So, yeah, that should be totally a-okay. Terra Fire because Entei. I don't want to take burns. I was thinking Terra Rock, so I could take both Sacred Fire and Extreme Speed, but I think not getting burned is far more important. Clefable is the same thing you already saw. Clefable. Let's get rid of that booster energy. Yep. So this is able to take a Tachyon Cutter pretty comfortably, but more importantly, if the Entei is Choice Band, I can take a Flare Blitz, which means I can redirect more than one attack, which is very, very crucial for this team, because I need to get set up off to win. Mental Herb, especially is the item choice because of Prankster Grimmsnarl's taunt, as well as potential Spectre taunt. Any taunts that want to come out, I need to be able to throw out Follow Me's and not get stopped. Incineroar is kind of bulky. Let's see. I know exactly what this one wants to do, actually. I don't have the set saved. Woohoo. Incineroar. Reverse Corrosion. Shockingly, it's another Iron Crown Calc. So if this is a Terra, or if it's Life Orb or Booster Energy, well, I didn't know about that. I expect Booster Energy, I don't expect Life Orb, so I'm not worried about a 1 in 16. But this will allow me to tank a Terra move, or even a crazy Focus Blast, fire back with a knockoff or a parting shot, Citrus Berry, 12 speed, just so I don't speed time my own Clefable. And the reason I have 4 speed on Clefable is so I can outspeed Grimmsnarl if it's running no speed. So Incineroar, I don't want them to tie, as well as this can hit a knockoff into a potential Assault Vest or a Citrus Berry, and allow this to follow up with a Moonblast. If I'm in that situation, Incineroar is just better off being faster here. Volcarona's next, and I went a little off the wall on the Terra and Terra Blast. This time I went for the Terra Rock. So conceptually the same as why I was doing it originally on Rillaboom, but for Volcarona, it's not as much of a problem if it gets burnt because it's not a physical attacker. Terra Rock can resist Extreme Speed, resist Entei's fire attacks, and hit back super effectively with that Terra Rock Terra Blast into Entei, and especially into Gyarados. Gyarados is a Pokemon that I'm a little afraid of, but the fact that I can hit it super effectively with Terra Rock is super important. The only thing I can't hit super effectively, or even neutrally effectively on the team, is Garchomp, which I think I have a very fine matchup into. Given that I have a Focus Sash Gengar, and a Body Press Kommo-o, and a Rillaboom, and a Clefable, and an Incineroar with Wisp, like, I will find out the items pretty quickly, hopefully, and take care of it there. Gengar here, I did drop Icy Wind finally, and went with Thunderbolt, because I want to be able to get the KO on Gyarados. Might have been a better idea to go with, I don't know, Icy Wind, or maybe Dazzling Gleam, or something. But if I can catch Gyarados off guard, like, if it sets up pretty up the creek, not to mention the fact that if I'm setting up Volcarona, Gyarados is, like, not what I want to face. So being able to hit with an electric move would be perfect. You can see I'm not actually max speed because nothing on their team can outspeed my Gengar except for Garchomp. Anything above that, they're going to be trying to outspeed my Gengar anyways, so there's no point. I put the rest in special bulk to try to be able to take Tachyon Cutter from the Menace itself. Gengar. Yeah, if it's Tachyon Cutter with... interesting. What the heck was I calcing for? Timid? Life Orb? Yeah, Timid Booster or Timid Life Orb Tachyon Cutter. I just wanted to get the lowest possible chances, which 44 is the last jump that I can get out of that, so I went with 44 and 12. it might seem weird to run any bulk in a Sashmon, but when you don't need the speed, you might as well use the stat for something else. So that's the niche I found for it. Um, Volcarona, I didn't talk about the spread, but it's not a leftovers number, but a grassy terrain number. Um, and then I want to say the special attack hit a number where I was able to get 2-hit KOs, tossed the rest in defense, and maxed out the speed because I don't want to have to deal with speed tying Entei in a bad situation if it's max speed Adamant Choice Band. Um, Incineroar, yep, and then the rest I put into bulk. Rillaboom, already talked about. Como, I'm sure I could figure it out somewhere, but I think I'm good. So yeah, that's my draft prep. Thanks for taking a look inside my head and how I prep for draft stuff. It's been a long time since I've done this. I'm pretty anxious, but I'm also pretty excited. I think I have a very solid team here, and hopefully the prep that goes in works out for the game. So hopefully, I'll probably upload this after the game, so you'll see my thought process, and hopefully I'll have taken a dub. Thanks, guys.